It's there!
So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only a day. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. Young blood made of gold. A mind you can't control. Running wild, can't come down. My head is in the clouds. Gotta keep this feeling, keep on breathing, even if we're slipping away. So I close my eyes and lose myself now. Do it like it's only today. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. We got a party for a lifetime. No, we ain't stopping for the sunrise. No, we don't care about the bad nights. And for a second I can feel like this. Make me feel like this. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. Ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries as we'll fall now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it slow. I drag you out your mind, and there are days I hate you, but baby, you're still mine. And now we have the best times, no matter what we do. And even when we don't, there's nobody I'd rather choose. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. I'm on my last straw. I'm broken and I'm woken up. I'm done feeling your lies. I've had enough. I can't run your place in this faulty game. And all the words you speak mean nothing more to me. 'Cause let's start over now. Rewind. And I won't let you go. I need you by my side.
That might have been a bitch to you this year. I just wanted to say that I'm still gonna be a bitch to you next year. It's New Year's, not new me. Clean slate, what?
What should we fucking do? I don't fucking know. Yaranna yastara. Anarana. Okay.
What did the irritated chicken say?
Well, hello, everyone. Good to see you all. Thank you all so much for joining me Really do appreciate your time. Came on a little early because I'm going to try to do a live on Remy's channel here in just a little bit. I see her down there. We've got so much snow here. It is so cold. It is crazy. It is crazy. For sure, for sure. Today is January 7th, 2025. It is 3:05 p.m. on the East Coast of the United States. Good to see you all. I really do appreciate you. It's snowy in Texas, or it's not snowy, it's winter in Texas. Usually Texas gets about two weeks of winter, a little bit of cold. Gayla from Oklahoma, thank you so much for becoming a Pearl. Welcome to the family, my friend. Good to see you. Hope you are well. Thank you, my dear. Y'all welcome Gayla. And snacks for Remy Burr. yes. So yes, that's little Remy Pearl. Right behind me. She's right behind me. You're getting 3 to 6 inches of snow in Texas Thursday. Oh my God. Yeah, they can drop Remy's channel there for sure. Irony, thank you so much for gifting the pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you. You received that. Make sure you thank our dear Irony. Thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Lake effect coming in. That time of year, January and February, it's usually the snowiest months. Can she get out of her play area? Not yet. Not yet. Not yet. YouTube's giving you issues. I'm sorry, Peggy. Hello, I see you. So we're going to go over Laura Lodge. He was on a channel just earlier. I think he did a good job considering, all the whataboutisms on the panel. I've watched all of the Laura Lodge except for the one last night, and I thought we could review that. Hopefully, Seth will be able to join Laura Lodge. Where are you, Edgar? Where are you? Where are you, KK? Bet you they won't. Does anyone actually think that Edgar or KK will reach out to the Laura Lodge? Are they ready to take any sort of international news stations? They ready for that? Don't think so. Are they going to take a polygraph with Chris there, KK there, Seth there? Don't think so. Edgar, are you going to talk about why they're looking for people, videos rather, on Sunday afternoon? Didn't think so. You going to talk about why you can't say when you was home, in your own home, days and weeks prior to Sebastian going missing, but you don't have anything to do with it, right? Didn't think so. Right there is all you need to know. People are talking about Seth and them being and it was untasteful at the very least on another show. But do y'all not remember Edgar's one-eyed snake comment? That just gets pushed under the rug, though, doesn't it? That just multiple polygraphs? You don't take multiple polygraphs. No. I mean, no more than 2. Usually no more than 1. Yeah. Oh, yeah, he made the one-eyed snake comment. I've got it here somewhere, I'll find it. Yeah, I've got it somewhere around here. Everyone forgets about that one. Maybe it's let's see. 1 second. Yeah, he made the one-eyed snake comment as well. So, which none of this has absolutely nothing to do with Sebastian. Has nothing to do with Sebastian. At all. 0. 0. And Aiden is absolutely right. Stick to motive means opportunity. Right. Probably angel wings. You're right. You're right. Tracy, thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Thank you, my love. Thank you for your support. Melissa, welcome back to the family. Thank you so much. Really do appreciate you. Hope you are well. Yeah, Edgar made a one-eyed snake comment on a panel before. Okay. But it's just ridiculous. It's just ridiculous to how ridiculous it has gotten. What I care about is what really matters, which is what happened on the night that Sebastian went missing. But I don't think Edgar or KK is going to. I don't think that they're going to be speaking probably at all anytime soon related to Laura Lodge or anything else. Cecilia, thank you so much for 7 months, my dear. Love you, Justin and Amy. Thank you for all you do, keeping it classy. Thank you, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Very kind of you, Cecilia. Glad you are feeling better, my dear. Yeah, just there was a bunch of things on there that was totally wrong. Probably the biggest thing that I heard that was on the panel that was 110% wrong is someone said, I think they said, if I recall correctly, that Tony said, I don't know if it was Tony or who, but Seth was not at work for a full 2 hours. That is 1000% wrong. Oh, absolutely, Lori. Absolutely. Yeah. Aiden kept his composure and he did a great job. He did a great job. So there's that. Edgar is a bully, and if you don't accept or challenge him in any way to his word salad that he puts out, then he's not going to speak to you. He's not going to speak to you. Oh, we've seen his time cards and everything, but you know, there's video of him being at work, not out in his car for even 5 minutes, let alone 2 hours, sleeping in his car and all that stuff. Just another way to make up lies. Gypsy, thank you so much for 2 months, my dear. It's much longer, but I am happy to be here. I know, my dear. Thank you. Thank you so much, my love. So glad that you are here. Yeah, kiss the feet, pun intended, or get threatened, bullied, and disrespected. Yeah. Yeah. I've got the one-eyed snake. I don't know. I don't want to hold y'all up from finding this, but I do have it somewhere around here where he did speak. I mean, if Seth would have, and listen, if there was inconsistencies like there was with Edgar and KK, I would literally think the exact same thing about Seth. It's just not there. It's just not there. And Aiden makes a great point. You know, if Seth was this horrible, horrible person, then why were they going to give him over to him? Why were they going to give him over? Because that makes you equally horrible. Or you just, you don't care. So, and I also think that they forget about, hold on a second. I also think they forget about this. 1 second. We're going to go back to this. I think they forget about this.
2 of them and the 4 of you?
It's relatively good. I mean, we talk regularly. He talks to his son on a regular basis, sees him on a regular basis. He's involved in school and therapy. And I mean, he didn't have any extracurricular activities, but I can tell you now, if he did, his dad would be in the front row.
I mean, 2 different households, and the communication between the 3 of us is great. I mean, yes, we're just like every parent. We all have our disagreements, but in the end, we come together as a team and we work and we come up with solutions that as we best see fit. I mean, I'm almost in contact with him almost daily.
Let's talk about that relationship, the 2 of them, and
So, there's that, right? Dad's going to be in the front row. And remember, they were the staff at the school was looking at Edgar and KK's behavior on just how they treated Seth alone in that, right? Thank you, Nicole. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Why would Edgar and KK go on a national media tour to raise awareness for Sebastian? They did not put him first before 225-24, and in my humble opinion, they never will. I pray this week more answers will be resolved. I do too. Thank you so much, Nicole. The way, going back to Sebastian's birthday when they were at that, I don't know where the hell they were, but it was the video with their aunt and all of them there. It made Sebastian, it sounded like Sebastian felt very unwanted, to be quite honest with you. You know, all Sebastian was doing was saying that she had to get 800 or whatever the number it was. And they were like, no, no, Sebastian, right? Just this. And he was just saying, to get 800 on the game. No, she doesn't.
But I've told her before.
What was the relationship really like? What is the relationship between mother and son? From the outside, of course, you're not God, you're not there behind closed doors. But what was that dynamic really like between Katie and Sebastian? Was it tight? Was it loving? Can you give us a little insight on that? Since now we're finally hearing some more information now. The diplomacy, the diplomatic is thrown out the window. Can we hear a little bit of some truth here?
I'm still diplomatic.
Of course.
That I'm still diplomatic. And she may or may not like what I'm about to say. But
Say it.
But I've told her before. Sebastian didn't think that Katie and Chris liked him at all.
Okay, real quick before you continue, why?
That breaks my heart. That really breaks my heart. That's the worst feeling, to feel unwanted or unloved.
What was being said? What would give off the vibe? Why would he turn to you and say specifically that? Was it because Chris was putting his hands on him? Was it because Katie was putting her hands on him too?
All he did was tell me that he didn't think that they liked him because all they did was scream and yell at him all the time.
Well,
and there was, from what I understand, a lot of screaming in that home. A lot. And to make it clear, it wasn't just to Sebastian either. It was allegedly constantly screaming at one another.
What was the relationship really like? What is the relationship between mother and son? From the outside, of course, you're not God, you're not there behind closed doors. But what was that dynamic really like between Katie and Sebastian? Was it tight? Was it loving? Can you give us a little insight on that? Since now we're finally hearing some more information now. The diplomacy, the diplomatic is thrown out the window. Can we hear a little bit of some truth here?
I'm still diplomatic.
Of course.
That I'm still diplomatic. And she may or may not like what I'm about to say.
Say it.
But I've told her before. Sebastian didn't think that Katie and Chris liked him at all.
Okay, real quick before you continue, why? What was being said? What would give off the vibe? Why would he turn to you and say specifically that? Was it because Chris was putting his hands on him? Was it because Katie was putting her hands on him too?
All he did was tell me that he didn't think that they liked him because all they did was scream and yell at him all the time.
What was the relationship really like? What is the relationship between mother and son? From the outside, of course, you're not God, you're not there behind closed doors.
There's that, right? It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Canadian Cookie, thank you, my dear, for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. You received one of those pearl necklaces. Give our girl, Canadian Cookie, a big thank you because you have been promoted.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees. Thank you.
Got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door.
Thank you so much, dear Canadian Cookie, for gifting 5 pearl necklaces. You received those. Make sure you give Canadian Cookie a big, big thank you. Thank you, Holly S. The one thing that bothers me the most is I think this family was very vocal in front of him about how they did not want him around, in my opinion. Yeah. And this is the thing. He didn't have really any friends. And in my opinion, the only place when he was not at his dad's home was school. And that's where he told what was going on. One thing I do want to bring up, now Aiden from the Laura Lodge, he has been talking about that Sebastian might have been to testify in this adoption or custody battle, rather. 100% was not. 100% he was not going to testify. I know that for a fact. And that has been asked of Chris, and he is right on that. He absolutely was not going to testify in that. So, and for me, that is a big thing, in my opinion, that we can push away as potential motive. Thank you so much, Tina. Really do appreciate it. In my opinion, Sebastian would not tell Seth what was actually going on for fear of what Edgar might do to Seth, a child's concerns for their father. Well, that, or they have to be, Sebastian was with KK and Edgar a lot more than he was anyone else, right? So that's where he spent most of his time. I think had Sebastian not going missing, I do believe that he would have probably told in time Seth, what was really going on in that house, in my opinion. So thank you so much for that, my dear. Really do appreciate you very much.
But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions.
Edgar, he says, he has the answers, right? But how do you have all the answers if you weren't there and Sebastian is missing? Why do you get so angry knowing people ask pertaining to Sebastian missing, and you get angry and you won't show your receipts? Wonder why. Wonder why. All right. So, credit goes to the Lore Lodge. Aiden did a good job earlier, considering what other people couldn't, always keep their emotions in check. But Justin, that does not stop the guardian from taking or the court judge. I'm sure family judge has CB. Yes, that is true. That is true. Yes. Tina, thank you so much, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Thank you for your support. Thank you very much, sweet Tina. I know what it's like to be a child and not tell anyone what's going on. There's 1 million reasons that all come down to fear and anxiety. Yeah. Yeah. It sure does. Sure does. At the end of the day, I believe, in my opinion, why what happened is, I believe Edgar was home and something happened, and I still believe Edgar flipped out. Or maybe KK, but definitely, in my opinion, it was Edgar, based upon people that know Edgar have known him for years, that what he is like. And in my opinion, I do believe that totally snapped, freaked out. I do believe KK was laying on the couch, and I do believe she heard a thud. I absolutely do. Shauna, thank you very much. Very generous of you, my dear. Thank you for gifting 5 pro necklaces. Very kind of you, my dear. If you received one of those, give our girl Shauna a big thank you. That is very sweet because you've been promoted.
You have been promoted. You are now one of my elite employees.
Got a feeling love will give us what we lack. The world is waiting up. The world is waiting half a step beyond our door. And if it's not enough.
Thank you so much, Shauna. Thank you so much for gifting 5 pro necklaces. Make sure you thank our girl there. And Aiden is right. I don't see how anybody can see anything other, to be honestly. I don't know who she is. It was just a big meme. She's I've seen her before, but I don't know her name, to be quite honest with you. She acts like she's like really rich and very posh. I don't know. All right, let's go.
I mean, the intruder did its side. We'll argue till the cows come home that the unknown DNA proves that the Ramseys had nothing to do with this. And in my opinion, first of all, I keep seeing more and more coverage that says the intruder, the DNA is not as strong of a profile as they keep insisting it is. So we have somebody who's supposed to be taking a look at that. I haven't checked in on that in a little bit. So I got to go through and see where we're at.
You have been ill.
I am sick also. I have not been well. This is like a few weeks that I should have had this like handled, but I also didn't know what questions to ask necessarily. I just got to get it done.
Plus, they did when we first messaged them about this. They did say it was going to take some time. So.
Yeah. So I'm also not there yet. You know, I'm not at that part. Would I love to have an answer? Yes, but am I there yet? No. But for those who watch the Sebastian Rogers stuff, this is a similar situation where there's really no physical evidence because the police did not handle it the way they should have. In the Sebastian Rogers case, it's much worse because if I am the police and I get that phone call, that 911 call at like 6 a.m. from the Proudfoots, I didn't think this at the time because I hadn't studied the John Bonet case.
The non-911 call. We got to remember that. The non-911 call. That would have set my alarm bells off immediately. Why someone does not call 911, I think that should start setting alarm bells off. This happened in Summer Wells' case. This happened in Sebastian Rogers' case as well. There is, why not call 911? You can give me any answer and it's all going to be bullshit. I'm just going to tell you flat out. It's all going to be bullshit. There is not another reason why you don't call 911.
But if I'm a police officer, I assume that I've at least read about the Jean Bonet case and what went wrong. Perhaps not. If that is not the case, then have we learned nothing, guys?
Based on everything you've covered about
we've learned nothing.
Well, not just that, but this seems to very much not be an instance of like the Miami-Dade shooting for the FBI.
In my opinion, I think two factors played into this, and I think this is something that police don't think that it's going to be that big of a case in the beginning. They come into this really nice housing development, you know, minimum of $500,000 homes. and they see two hardworking individuals, but just because everything is pretty from the outside doesn't mean things are beautiful on the inside necessarily, meaning the family system. And I think that was part of it. And I also think, oh, well, he's autistic. Of course he ran away. Of course he ran away. And I just honestly do think that's was part of it. Because let's be honest, police, whenever these children go missing, 99% of them or more are not, foul play. It's they really ran away. But it doesn't matter. They have to take it all seriously. And I think they really believed he ran away for the first few days and let Edgar go back to Mississippi. Huge mistakes. People being able to stay in that house, kick them out immediately. Anyone. Consider everything foul play until it's not.
It seems like this happened and nobody learned anything. Nobody even tried to learn anything.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there were protocols put in place because of the JonBenet Ramsey case that should have been followed with Sebastian Rogers. And I mean, I don't know how, as an officer, you're sitting there, you get the 911 call at 6:30 in the morning, and it's, oh, our child is missing. How do you not, at least in the back of your mind, go, all right, this seems familiar. I mean, there's differences. Don't get me wrong. Like, in the JonBenet Ramsey case,
what Aiden is trying to say here, in my opinion, is there's nothing new under the sun, right? There's nothing new under the sun. There's things that we can take from every case and learn from it, learn from our past mistakes. And there's only so many ways crimes can be committed, right? Of course, they all have their unique circumstances and unique elements about it, but nothing new is under the sun.
If we look at it, there is the alarm system in the home that wasn't on, right? And in the Sebastian Rogers case, we have an alarm system in the home that everyone has alluded to that apparently has no bearing on this case. Because
right,
multiple people have mentioned there being cameras in the home. The Proudfoots were really cagey about where the cameras are in the home and said there weren't any outside, but that would imply there are some inside. And you would think that one of those cameras would have caught Sebastian at least walking through the house, if not leaving it.
You would think. Also, do want to point out that it's a little weird to have security cameras inside your house, but not also outside.
Little strange. Yeah.
Yep.
I agree. I'm not sure I believe that there weren't any outside either. But I mean, so that's just that. Those aren't similar. There's nothing there. I don't know. I know that I make this big thing about it and then I don't say much just because I'm sick and I don't have time to go through the bullet point list of every single thing. I have videos on both. But my point is to say that when I look at the Sebastian Rogers and the JonBenet cases, I see a lot of similarities. And we went over that last week. A lot of the same mistakes were made. A lot of the police issues were the same. But as I'm going through the part 4 stuff for JonBenet, I came across I was looking for something else entirely. I came across a comment from a user called Jameson. And I had read the name Jameson before in Kohler and Thomas's books. I'd read the name Jameson in a number of articles. The name Jameson came up, I think, in one of the documentaries we watched. And the weird part was, I'm reading through this transcript of an interview that happened with Burke Ramsey on the 26th of December, 1996, which I actually was not aware it happened because it hadn't come up anywhere yet. It was in Kohler's book, and I just hadn't seen it yet. Turns out they did interview Burke on that day. Went about 40 minutes. Most of the transcript has never been released to the public. For some reason, A&E got...
I'm going to do. I'm going to see if I can do a poll right here. I want to hear what you guys think on the JonBenet Ramsey case.
Got their hands on it and did not release it to the public and did not include the entire thing in their documentary, which is just, again, to say, guys, if you're not going to actually try and solve the case, just don't talk about it. Like, and that's kind of where I was coming from with the title for this one. When true crime becomes crime drama, so much of it becomes that. It's all Law and Order. It's all, it's all CSI. And with Jameson, I was frustrated enough about A&E, right? But then again, it's A&E. They're an entertainment company. That's what they do. Their job is to present an interesting, compelling story that will get you to watch their channel.
I'm going to give 5
revenue, right?
I'm going to give 5 pearl necklaces. It's that time of month again. Who's ready for it? Let's see here.
There's all the people in the comments. Some people are talking about how they've seen the actual transcript. They have access to the actual transcript, something like that. There's Jameson saying, who I now know to be she, saying she has all 30 pages.
All right. Who got it? Who got it? Missy. Skip to my Lou. Carrie Preston. Crime meme. Who else? All right, we got 5 more. Here we go. Yo, ready? Ba-dum-pa. There we go. Jackie. Arnie. Heather. Who else? I can't see the other. I don't know who the other is. There we go. There we go. All right. Now the question is JonBenet Ramsey case. Right? JonBenet Ramsey. We're going to ask the poll. Do you think parents, child, case let's see here, JonBenet Ramsey, right? We're gonna drop this. Yes, guilty. 1 or more. No. None. Someone else. All right. All right. The poll is, do you think parents or one of the child is guilty in the JonBenet Ramsey case? One of the parents or child or none of them. I'll be honest with you. This is the only case that I have ever done where I really struggle. Usually I can feel like I can sniff them out and see things. Now, I've told you my little link with the case. So that might have something to do with it. I don't know. But I really struggle. with this case. I will say that if I do think it would be anyone, inside the home, I would be more likely to say Patsy. But I really struggle with it. I really struggle with it. The letter is weird. It's to me, it's too long of a letter. And I know like the bonus thing is weird. I feel like but I really don't know in this case. There was a lot of creeps that lived down the road. But Patsy and I grew up in the same county. My dad was very good friends with the family. I literally remember going over to Patsy's cousin's house growing up. And I remember when this was happening because Jean Benet and I, we were very, very similar in age. And they had certain beliefs in this, but it's weird. It's weird. I don't know. I don't think Burke at all. Like, I personally, I know there was that thing that I think it was Dr. Phil did with Burke. I thought that was awful because I don't believe Burke did it whatsoever. I don't feel like John Ramsey did it whatsoever personally. But so the DNA, there is DNA like in her shorts, but I don't know. Feisty Mama, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace, my dear. Really do appreciate you. You received that, and make sure you thank our dear Feisty Mama. Thank you so much for coming in clutch, girl. Really do appreciate you. All right, let's get it started. So, I don't know. I think if any parent could have done it, it would have been Patsy. Patsy was a very good woman, though. She was very, from what I understand, she was very orderly, and she had very high expectations. She was extraordinarily clean freak, and she liked things the way she liked it. But I can't say that. I just can't say that. I can never. Makes me want to cry because I wish Patsy was here. I really wish she was here.
And she'll go through and see what she thinks. Well, Jameson's not law enforcement and never was. Jameson was a web sleuths user who had an email exchange with Don Foster. Jameson is the one who literally as it turns out, she's bragging about it. She's like, well, I got Don Foster to say that I was the killer and that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, well, you were deliberately misleading him to make him believe that you were. So, yeah, I can see how that might have happened over the course of these internet exchanges you had, because you were trying to convince him you were somebody you were not in order to discredit him, which completely discredits you, not him. So,
also sounds like a clear case of obstruction of justice in and of
that was
itself.
my
Anyway,
thought too, is like this random woman who has nothing to do with the case, who lives in North Carolina, just decides, she's qualified to start interfering. I hit my funny bone. It hurts. It burns. Anyway, she decides she's going to start interfering in the case and, playing games with the investigators and all this, like faking her identity. It eventually comes out that so far as I can tell, there's no evidence that Don Foster ever actually did accuse her of this. She claims, that like there were like 50 email exchanges. Meanwhile, only ever produces evidence of one email from Don Foster. One. So what I'm sitting here seeing is, all these different emails that she's talking about, sending out messages everywhere, making herself the center.
Also, the behavioral panel is the only, and I mean the only, that I can think of the behavioral panel is the only ones that I can think of that seem to indicate that KK and Edgar were not deceptive. But they say that in my opinion, in a lot, especially recently. But I think they said the same thing during Dawn and Candace's. I think they're just not my favorite, to be honest with you. They're just not my favorite. I think that they're just afraid to say it anymore. Like, hey Seth, good to see you, brother.
Attention. I'm sitting here going, oh, you're just a narcissist trying to stir the pot. You probably did send him. There probably were 50 emails and you probably sent 49 of them. And until I see further evidence that you didn't, I am.
But out of every other professional, behavioral, word analysis, statement analysis, like any professional, like whether they're former police officers, former FBI, different, like they all have said Chris and Katie have something they believe. Thank you so much, Mini Panthers, for gifting that pearl necklace. Really do appreciate you, my dear. Thank you, my love. If you receive that, make sure you give our girl Mini Panthers a big thank you. I'm looking up that case, Mini Panthers.
I'm going to believe that to be the case. Because as I'm going through, you have 30.
Yes, Steve Johnson has spoke on the Proudfoots. I would recommend you going to Chris's channel, the interview room, and he does not hold back. I really prefer people who are not wishy-washy with their behavioral and statement analysis, like Deception Detective, Pat Brown, Peter Hyatt, Steve Johnson. And Steve Johnson, he offers some amazing classes as well.
30 pages of documents. They're all the transcript. We're all sitting here on Reddit trying to analyze a couple of screen grabs from an A&E documentary to try and see what it says on this piece of paper. And you've got all of the documents and you just won't provide them.
Thank you, Donna. Thank you so much for 8 months. Appreciate your professionalism and all that you do love, you and Remy. Thank you, sweet Donna. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so much for your support. Means a lot, truly. I don't know Heather. I really don't. I haven't heard from Jessica for a while.
Oh, you got access to DNA analysis that hasn't been made public, but you won't present it. You've got Burke's interviews, but you won't present it. You've got all this information, and you'll show all of it when it makes the intruder theory look good. But anything we ask for that doesn't support the intruder theory, hands off. We don't get to see it. To me, that screams somebody is trying to, if you have all of this evidence, and she's firmly intruder theory, if you have all of this evidence, and you're firmly of the belief, after reviewing all of the evidence that you have, that it was an intruder, if that evidence points in that direction, why on earth would you hide it?
Well, we know why.
Because it doesn't point that direction.
Exactly.
So, this is my public call out for Susan Bennett Jameson. I mean, you shouldn't have told everybody your real name in a bunch of posts, you idiot.
Who do we got? Jace, thank you so very much, my dear. Glad to be here with you, Justin. Thank you so much, my love. All the blessings to you. Thank you so much. Good to see you. And Julie, thank you so much for 2 months. Really do appreciate that as well. Truly, my dear. Thank you very much. Here we go.
Do the right thing. Drop the files. Maybe you haven't been called out hard enough by a big enough source, but Susan Bennett
Let's see if we
has no negative effects. Now, the entire medical consensus is that this is not true, right? I mean, smoking anything at all, it could be grass, like literal grass. That's still bad for the baby. Cannabis? THC? There's a consensus on that one. It's bad. It's bad for fetuses. Like, you should not consume mildly hallucinogenic drugs while pregnant. That should be obvious. Anyway, this woman's arguing with me, and I'm just kind of pointing out how, like, she keeps, like, kind of hinting that, yeah, you should go and say something about this. You should make a video. Go tell your 600,000 YouTube subscribers, blah, 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 blah. And I'm sitting here like, well, I'm not going to do that because you have 1.5 thousand followers on Instagram. I'm not going to punch down that. Do I think you're a bad, dangerous person who should probably have a CPS visit? Yes. Am I going to bring the entire internet down on you? No, that would be rude.
I don't know who he's talking about. I really don't. Whispering, thank you so much for gifting a pearl necklace, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Hey, Britt, good to see you. EMF, Dispatch, Tiffany, Jinx. No, Jinx. No.
Be mean. I will let CPS handle it. I didn't call CPS. I'm sure somebody else will.
Thank you, Whispering. Really do appreciate you. If you receive that, make sure you thank our dear Whispering for gifting that pearl necklace. I don't know. I mean, it's amazing to me how people can pass up everything that Chris and Katie, what was going in their house before, what happened that night, the story, the days that Edgar won't speak on when he was home, the flashlights, one going back, someone getting in a car and they say it's nothing. Come the hell on.
Point is, I kept saying, you obviously have narcissistic personality disorder. Otherwise, you'd be able to tell why everybody thinks you're absolutely insane. The fact that you can't acknowledge that you're wrong and you keep begging for more attention tells me that you have a narcissism issue. Turns out she's diagnosed borderline personality disorder. Yeah. So I was close. I was damn close. I think Chris is in the same boat, Chris Proudfoot.
Yes.
But my reason in bringing up Jameson and all of this is because I feel like as I'm looking through it, Jameson is, if you look back earlier before the internet, you've got people would always, you have people sending letters, calling in, psychics, people claim.
Chris is incapable of seeing fault, in my opinion. He's just incapable of seeing his own fault. I think that's precisely why he was about on his 6th marriage, and why I also believe that they're probably not that close right now, even, to be quite honest with you.
Claiming they did it, blah,
in
blah,
my
whatever.
opinion.
But it all got kind of funneled because it all went through to the police department and they decided what they told you. The internet comes into play. The website Web Sleuths comes into play, which is apparently a lot older than I thought it was. I thought that was like a mid-2000s. I guess it's the late 90s. Web Sleuths comes into play. And then social media.
I have AC.
And then suddenly, crime is no longer something that is written about in books. It's no longer something that is talked about on news programs. It's not something that is, for the most part, isolated to the investigative department. It's something else. It's culture. True crime. We get, you know, podcasts and TV shows and all sorts of stuff. Goes from 48 hours to Netflix has an entire series on the Menendez brothers. Netflix has an entire series on JonBenet Ramsey.
I don't know.
And what it creates is an internet subculture where you have all these people who are out there and they're talking about it, they're getting involved. And when it stays on Reddit and TikTok, and you basically got, you know,
I mean, I'm serious. They were at the brink of divorce. They really were. They were at the brink of divorce. Someone that Chris knows very well contacted me and said he was done. Like, he was working, talking about the assets and everything else. So what happened? And from what I hear, it's still not very rosy. And it's just a guess at this point, but I don't even know if they're actually as together as it might seem.
You know, people like, oh, well, here's what I think about it. Sure. But something really weird happened with the Sebastian Rogers case. Something that I've never seen before. I've never seen the parents, the prime suspects as far as the internet are concerned. I have never seen them just go talk to YouTubers. And so what had been if you look at true crime, yeah, there's...
Well, I mean, I have, Don and Kim. I mean, there's a lot of people that come talk to YouTubers and stuff now. But I mean, outside of YouTube, there is no sides. It's pretty much these parents are really sus, and that's it.
There's some controversial stories out there. There's people on both sides of the aisle, and they'll talk about it. They'll fight. They'll have their little wars. But in this specific case, and the same goes for Jameson, because she eventually did get in touch with the Ramseys. In this case with Sebastian Rogers, the Proudfoots first go on actual...
Whistle, I agree. I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, what parent, when a mother says a child walked out the door, why the hell is she quiet? You couldn't shut a mother up, nor should you, nor should she be quiet. Regardless of what anyone else thinks of her or him or anyone, it would not shut you up, because you know exactly what is true and what is not. So there's that. You couldn't shut a mother up.
TV. And then they start going on these podcasts. And they're not huge. They're not going on Sean Ryan. They're not going on Rogan. They're not going on even this show. Even though Chris Proudfoot has a standing invite to come on the show and defend his position. These guys are going everywhere. They're going on 15,000 subscribers, 7,000 subscribers, 25,000 subscribers, mostly female-led channels, by the way. Seth is everywhere. Seth's on male-led, female-led, big, small, TV, not TV, everywhere he can be. And I'm not saying I think Seth's a saint, but she sure as hell seems like he cares about finding his kid. Chris Proudfoot seems like he cares about controlling the narrative.
Yes. Bingo.
And you
absolutely right. That's exactly right. That's all Seth cares about. Finding his kid. That's it. It's not about controlling any narrative at all. Edgar, on the other hand, it is all about, don't talk about my truck. Don't talk about this. Don't talk about that. Right? All of that.
You have a bunch of these YouTubers who I think maybe at the beginning they were well-meaning, but they allowed themselves to get emotionally connected to this person and to be, on their side, to have private conversations, to, have, I think there was one thing about somebody having dinner with him at one point.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen that before.
It's bizarre.
And I don't like it. I don't like what I'm seeing. I mean, we went and sat down.
I think for most people who doesn't really understand, they're interested in true crime, but they're not they don't understand the psychology of it all. Just because someone is sitting across from you and you're having dinner and you have conversations with them and they're nice to you, it does not mean that they are incapable of doing something really bad. Really, really bad. And I think a lot of true crime channels, when they get attached to someone from a case, you cannot picture them doing something bad. And they cannot separate the two. Just because KK smiles at you and is nice to you, and Edgar, you see this really nice, kind side to him. We are very complex individuals. We are not one thing all the time. None of us are. None of us are. And Chris McDonough put this the best way that I know to say it now. There is the public self, the private self, and the secret self. Who you and I are right now is our public self. It's just who we are, right? And that we tend to put all of our best face forward. It's just the way it is. It's social media, how we are in public, blah, blah, blah. With the ones your husband, your wife, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your mom, your dad, your sisters, your brothers, and, your very closest people that you are the most comfortable with. You let it down some, right? And then there is the secret self. that you will not share with nobody, right? It's, you know, what they call skeletons in your closet, right? And so, you know, you would be afraid to be judged for it or whatever. Now, we do know all of the you know, the private selves, if you will, of Edgar, KK, and Seth. And the only reason we know that is because of court documents, things that they've all brought out on one another. So, yeah, there's that. And I think people, specifically some YouTubers, they think that Edgar or KK or whoever they get close with is like that 100% of the time. And you are sadly mistaken if you think Edgar, KK, Seth, you or I are always that 100% of the time, because that's not life. That's not life. And whenever, you know, someone is behind closed doors before you ever even knew they existed in this world, at, you know, 1 a.m. in the morning, 3 a.m. in the morning, on your fifth marriage, well, I beg to differ.
Down with Tommy Booth's mom, we had a conversation with her, but there wasn't a whole war going on. We weren't, you know, getting up there and, like, you know, bashing other YouTube channels who disagreed with us. We were getting up there and saying, hey, I think the police are wrong, and I respect the work of the Smiley Face Killers gang, but I think they're wrong too. Here's where we're going with it. And that was the end of it. But what I've seen with Sebastian Rogers is there will be people who go on literally 7-hour live streams, and all they do is get a panel together to talk about Sebastian Rogers. And when you get into the nitty gritty, they barely talk about Sebastian.
No, they don't.
It's all about the drama between Chris and Seth and Katie.
That's it.
And
that's all it is.
Nina and, you know, the parents and the Bauer side, all of it. They become drama podcasts. And that's not what this is supposed to be. I mean, listen, I get it. It's one thing with the Ramseys. It's an old as hell case. We all know who.
And that's what it is. That's what it has been. It has been nothing but drama. Oh, what about Seth coming up and saying, doing this? Or what about, you know, this? If it doesn't pertain to the days or night that Sebastian goes missing, why does it matter? And Aiden tried to nail down that point on that live, but it was just, it's over the head. It's just over the head. Because he's like, if it's not motive, means, or opportunity, out with it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But then it's, well, what about, you know, this? What about, it's just like, what is that do to solve, to benefit? I mean, yeah, I can show you. I can sit here and show you where Edgar talks about his one-eyed snake. And it sounds horrible, and it is, but it does nothing. It does nothing. It's just about smearing the names of one another. That's all it is at this point. That's it. Hey, Vic girl.
I mean, Nobody really doubts it. The two sides here are very lopsided. Sebastian, it doesn't feel that way. And then you get not just YouTubers, but private investigators and lawyers and all these people from different sides who get on and they start yelling at each other. And what I've noticed is the entire thing has moved away from Sebastian Rogers. It is no longer about finding Sebastian Rogers. It is about, my side being right. And I don't like that at all. I mean, I had somebody on Twitter yesterday, I think it was, accuse me of being a mod for Seth's channel. And my response was, I don't have time to do my own live streams, let alone moderate somebody else's.
Yes, they automatically associate you with, they call us, if you support Seth in any sort of way, you automatically become what they call the green team. Nobody ever, we've never stated, I'm on nobody's team. I am on the team of truth. That's what team I'm on. Truth. What is right. We don't need a team for, we've never called ourselves that. It's ridiculous. That makes it very childish.
I don't have time. But there's just this default assumption that you're on one side or the other, that you must be biased. You must be part of Team Rogers or Team Proudfoot. There's no other alternative. Nobody considers the fact that you might sit here as a third party going, hey, I have no skin in this game. I just want the kid found.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. And that's the whole thing. Seth was has nothing to do with it. We know the man was working. He was on camera. We've seen his time slips that he has shown. He's taken a lie detector test. We have not seen anything of Chris's. Nothing. In fact, he's lied about or backed out or used word salad. Right? That's all I care about. That's all I care about. I don't care what, some off, tasteless hand comment that Seth said. I don't care about Edgar talking about an offhand comment. Tasteless, yes, but it has nothing to do, anything to do with Sebastian. Nothing. I don't care if Chris gets up, Katie gets up, Seth gets up and laughs on a panel. I don't care. As long as they are continually being proactive in their missing child's case. But we only have that with one person. Just that. And that is Seth Rogers.
That's inconceivable to a lot of these people. I'm not perfect. I've had my moments, but I don't understand what happened here. And I think it's just, once again, another weird thing where, non-law enforcement, amateur web sleuths, for lack of a better term, and I know the irony, I get it, I understand the irony of me saying this, a lot of these people get involved, and they are so emotionally connected to their point of view that they cannot set aside the biases. And usually it's not a big deal. With the Rogers case, it's not a huge deal because nobody seems to have for lack of a better term, classified information. Nobody's got their hands on something nobody else has. But with Jameson, with Sue Bennett, she's got it all. She's got pages of transcripts and DNA analysis and interviews, and we don't get to see it. I mean, I've said for a long time, if I have access to something that would benefit the public's interest, I will release it. Or at the very least, I will offer to release it. Like, I might not just put it up there, but if somebody comes to me and says, hey, can I take a look at that? I'm going to say, yeah, sure, why not? What you doing?
Just checking something.
Okay. But yeah, I feel like I'm talking to myself here.
Sorry, just confirming whether or not the Seth R. Rogers.
Oh yeah, no, it's
actually it is.
Hey Seth, how you doing?
How's it going?
I'm sorry this is happening to you. I mean,
oh look, Seth in the chat speaking to Aiden, right? I'm sure he's talking to him, or we'll be in touch with him at least pretty soon. Where's Edgar and KK? Where are they? Where are they? Crickets. You see, Seth gets, trashed for, trying to bring awareness and trying to be supportive of those supporting his, mission to find his child. KK and Edgar, shit, where are they? Where are they? Oh, we're not going to come out if you're going to believe something different. I understand why she doesn't talk, because every time they do, they get trashed. Well, so does Seth. It's not about Seth. It's not about KK. It's not about Edgar. It's about get your ass out there and do it anyways. That's what it's about. You don't think wherever Sebastian is, if he's still on this planet, I'm sure he's not at Disney World right now. Regardless, whether what happened to him the night he was taken out of that house, that alone would have been traumatic. Going from, again, if nothing physical happened to him that night, going from, being taken out of your home and thrown into a completely different situation had to be horrible for an autistic child with a chromosome deletion. I personally don't see how something has not happened, at least at this point, almost a year later. Thank you so much, Carrie Ann. Justin, have you heard anything about Sumner County indictments? No. It is today and tomorrow. The grand jury meets. They have 90 days to make a decision, and they meet once a month. So let's pray that something is going on today or tomorrow, or at least February when they meet again.
And that was the thing, is I came into this totally unbiased. You might remember in the first video, I didn't say it.
They're now spreading that Seth never took a polygraph for long. That really grasping at straws, in my opinion. Well, what they're saying is that Seth was not at work for 12 hours, that he was gone for 2 of those hours. Based on what? Based on what? He passed the polygraph. He showed you his time cards. He's seen on camera. We know nothing about Edgar. Nothing. He can't talk about it because law enforcement has dictated him not to. Because he's a dictator. Because he's a dick and he looks like a tater.
Damn thing about the Proudfoots.
Yeah, no, because the first video that we did was basically the summarization of essentially that first 24 hours in prime focus to Sebastian. What happened, where he might have gone, the search effort, not really anything tangential in terms of history of the people involved or theories about what may or may not have happened or what may happen down the line.
Exactly. So, I mean, it was only once I actually started to look at what Chris Proudfoot was saying.
You know what?
I didn't like it.
I'm actually glad if they are bringing up polygraphs again, because this is something Seth is asking, right? Let's go do that polygraph, KK and Edgar. Seth will join you right there. He will take polygraphs all day long. He did it on national television by an FBI examiner. Let's do it again. Come on. You ready? We'll arrange that. Not a problem. Not a problem. Are you ready? You do it on will you do it? That right there alone should send red flags from here to Timbuktu. If you are innocent in anything related to crime, people who have nothing to hide nothing. Oh, yeah. And just like he said, I want national outlets. Does he not know that Edgar will get more views on the Lore Lodge than he will on most of these national news networks? It's worldwide. Like, that's why a lot of the journalists, mainstream journalists, do not like people like on YouTube or social media, because we get more views. Many of them.
I did not like what I was seeing.
Well, that's the thing is like, some of the things that you mentioned here about drama with the families
Mm-hmm.
and such like that. A lot of what we did in the subsequent videos and what you highlighted.
That's the last thing Edgar wants is Dateline. That's the last thing Edgar wants is 48 hours. They could knock at his. I would love for them to knock at his door live. Edgar, we heard you were calling. He'll make up some word salad bullshit, just like he did on Nancy Grace about the polygraph. Name the time and place. Right? Here we are. Let's start. But I can't do it today. He's gonna some bullshit. Some bullshit.
His history, with Katie's history, at least to my understanding and the way we went to present it, was this wasn't about the drama of the family.
No.
This was important context to figure out motive of who and why Sebastian was either kidnapped or how he got lost. It's all context to help the search. It's not drama for the sake of drama.
And I mean, when I I even commented, I asked Steve Fisher about one of these things, SF Investigates. he posted something about I think it was Bullhorn Betty, because the Proudfoots are trying to send her to prison for driving past their house, I guess. I guess there was a protective order and she violated it, but didn't actually she didn't contact them or anything. I think she just got too close to them while filming something. I don't know the details of it, but anyway, he's posting about that. And I'm like, so this person who clearly is in no way involved. Bullhorn Betty didn't take Sebastian. I can understand if they're being sincere, where they're coming from. Yeah, I get it.
I still don't understand. People say Betty talks about, a pew pew and all of this stuff. She never threatens anybody with a pew pew that I have ever seen. This person literally passed by her while she's talking to the officer because the officer was called on her, and they apparently wait and turned around while she's still filming and goes right behind her. When they said, oh, well, she was in the way. No, she wasn't. She was not in the way. They go straight through. They turn back around and they go behind her. That machete was from Summer Wells's case. She had that thing on her wish list for probably 2 years. I don't understand why, because you don't like her opinion. Regardless, you want Sebastian found, right, KK and Edgar? Well, she was out there putting out signs and doing everything else. That's, so what? I agree with that, vet girl. I agree. I do think, I agree with that. Yes. I do agree with that part, though.
You had a protective order. She violated it, blah, 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 blah. What does that have to do with Sebastian Rogers?
Nothing.
Why are you still talking about it? Why is that are you investigating the disappearance of Sebastian Rogers, or are you a PR person? I get it. You're the investigator hired by the family. But if you're going to go out and try and make it public, you're a private investigator, buddy. Unless you're sharing everything you have, keep it to yourself.
The thing is, it's not whether. The thing is, people are like, it's whether you like Bullhorn Betty or not. Well, it's not whether you like her or not. It's the fact that I've never seen anyone get a protect. There are real POs needed. These women are getting, scared to death, and they can't get a PO. And then you have some a 5'2" barely, probably, little blonde woman tracking across the country, putting out signs, and you get a PO because what? I don't get it. That part, it's not, to me, it's whether you like Betty or not, that's not the point. Take that equation out of it. Right? It's the fact of, what the hell did she actually do? That's what I don't understand. Yeah, I'll put Nick at Night up. Just give me a second.
Because otherwise you're cherry picking and crafting a narrative, and nobody can get in there to crack holes.
Made it sound like she was Driving in high pursuit. What? It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. All right. Was it on? Is it on At Night? Okay, 1 hour ago. $250,000 Hong. What? I didn't know. Okay. Hong, $250,000 reward. Other neighbors saw something that night. Tell me, I'll pay you. And his phone number. Is that all it is? Is it At Night? I don't see anything else. January 2nd. Did Nick post something? You cannot eat money. 1 hour ago. I will be appearing on various national networks in the coming weeks. Let's make 2025 one for the books. LFG, hashtag Sebastian Strong. Quote, you are weak. Do not string along people for your shit. I will unalive you, it says. Thanks for the advice. What does that mean? What does that mean? Who said that? Imagine yourself on a jet ski facing a tsunami heading straight for you from the shoreline. How far out into the vast blue sea would you venture to escape? Is it even possible to escape?
Where's his tortillas? You can't have that many. He wins.
You lost.
Dog and his wife.
Okay, come on.
That laugh dog does. Dog's like, that's so funny. That's so funny.
Introducing the
Okay. Well, okay. Laura Lodge posted 6 hours ago. Well, Steve, you got pretty quiet after I offered to do a fully demonetized with a fundraiser for the National Center of Missing and Exploited Children. Surely that must satisfy your desire to ensure nobody makes money off of the discussion, or is it about limiting reach? I guess SF Putt, I would be happy to back it up on air. Set up a non-monetized fresh channel so no one profits from your discussion, and count me in. Not simply demonetizing your stream for the night to reach only your subscribers, but a completely fresh channel and equal weight. Why does it matter? I mean, if it's why does it why would he want a non to start a new channel? just do you want to, isn't it to see, have many people a seat as possible? Isn't that what it's about? That does not make any sense whatsoever. My missing children interview checklist is linked below. How many items did Michael Vaughn's mother address without any prompting? I don't know what it means. Seth said he knew where every camera in the neighborhood was and the angle they pointed. Did he? But he couldn't tell you that there are no cameras on the Proudfoots home. Mr. Fiction Story. I don't ever recall him saying where every camera was. And if he did say where every camera was, I'm sure it's after the fact. I'm sure it's after the fact of his child missing. But I don't ever recall him saying where it was. Laura Lodge says, I'm not going to create some brand new channel for this. Nobody will even see the conversation. What I will do is donate 100% of the stream revenues to the National and Missing and Exploited Children, and we'll set up a fundraiser for the organization as well. That's unbelievable. The elderly TikTok bullies are the once more doxing random girls who are one. Alrighty then. Okay. Anything else? Let's see if the Laura Lodge posted anything. All right. Was that all I was supposed to see? I mean, I have no idea what he's talking about. Shannon, thank you so very much for 11 months, my dear. Really do appreciate you. Ashton Wayne, Greg Rogers. And I hope, let's get, please, Sumner County, please, TBI, please, FBI, let's get on it. Let's arrest someone and let's find this child. Gail, thank you so much. I really do appreciate you. Thank you for those kind words, my dear. Really do appreciate you. When a professional doesn't utilize other professional services, be cautious, in my opinion. Very well stated, Fat Girl.
Like, you're doing a lawyer's job, not an investigator's job. You're doing a spokesman's job, not an investigator's job. Why are we talking about Bullhorn Betty? So I asked him, I said, Steve, you taking a look at Chris Proud?
I mean, it's like, I don't understand. I don't understand this. It's on the panel earlier. Well, what about Betty? What about this? What about that? What about when Seth went up on panel and did, said this or pretended to do this? What about Betty? Well, what about? Well, what about? Okay. What does it have to do with anything?
Proudfoot's court records?
Betty is one creator that covers this. Just like I am one creator that covered this. Just like Aiden is one creator that covers this. Just like the other side is one creator that covers this. You will never get anywhere when you can't even get out of the damn parking lot. You know what I mean? It's like, what? We're not even talking about Sebastian at this point.
And just
I mean, I still
cascade
do.
of
I'm one
replies
of the
like,
few that
what
does.
does that have to do with anything? You know, he didn't like violate a protective order, blah, blah, blah. And I'm sitting here like, you're right. He didn't violate a protective order. He took one out fraudulently, then had it adjudicated to be not needed. And then he spent 5 years in court trying to reclaim custody of his daughter so that he could rip her away from the only family she's ever known and bring her to some rural village in Tennessee.
Absolutely,
where
Aiden.
she is going to be. Yeah, and here's the thing: I don't like getting into identity politics or any of that. But this is a girl who is Hispanic and Native American and currently lives in Albuquerque, New Mexico, with her mother and her grandparents and her other siblings. Seth has spent the better part of a decade now. Or not Seth, sorry. Chris has spent the better part of a decade now trying to rip that child out of a place where she is with family who loves her, with her mother, with her siblings, has been enrolled in school for several years.
Bingo.
And is, not a complete and total minority. Now, I mean,
Let me tell you something. Aiden makes an absolute perfect point right there. And that is exactly right. That's exactly right. You guys seen poor Nina. God bless that woman, of the shit that Edgar has put this woman through, put his, in my opinion, even, his daughter through, because, this is all that she knows is her mother, is her siblings, is her culture around her. Let me tell you something. My mother, or my grandmother, was fresh off the boat from, France, and moved to New Mexico, where Nina is from. And my mom grew up there. A couple of my sisters grew up there. Here I am. I'm a product, I'm Appalachian, right? I didn't grow up there. Total different parts of the world, right? She is comfortable. She's young. She's young, and her culture is very important to her, where she goes to school and all that. Why would you want to take her out to be in a, no other child in the home, take her away from her mother full time? That doesn't make any sense. Like, how could anyone think that's the best interest? How could anyone? I don't even believe Edgar believes that's the best interest. Do you see the absolute, like, emotional scarring that has happened to Nina? That woman is, people was saying in Aiden's chat the other day, they said she's so, Nina is so beautiful. And I said, Nina is gorgeous. But all you have to do is look at her video and see the scars behind that. This is coming from a family that said, run her over, Nina said. And this is what I said about KK. KK, if you think you're different, when push comes to shove, Nina actually has a child with Edgar. You have nothing with him. stand in line just like the other 4. You're number 5. Stand in line. Nina's a badass. And I appreciate her bravery more than you will. I just can't even explain to you. I agree. He was following her. He absolutely was following her. I agree. Absolutely agree. There's my cookie. Thank you, Canadian Cookie, for 13 months, my OG. I adore you. I love you. How much snow do you got? You got any? You're in Canada. You got to have snow. Let me know. Hope you are well. We probably got more snow than you right now. I don't know. We'll see. Thank you, dear Canadian Cookie. Much love to you. And Vet Girl, very generous of you. Nina is gonna be the one, I bet. She is gonna remember one thing that ends up popping this open. I agree. I agree. And you know, from what I understand, TBI and authorities, I'll just say this, have reached out to all of Edgar's past wives, former roommates, former people he and KK have worked with, and asked a lot of questions. Now, are they doing that to Seth? Are they looking out to, Seth's old roommates or anything? I haven't heard it. I didn't also see them digging in the landfill that Seth's trash goes to either. They have absolutely been in contact with all of Edgar's exes 100%. Absolutely. That probably cuz always gets lost in the chaos. Yeah. Yep. Wanting to know, a little bit about what makes Edgar tick. Talk. Tick. Talk. Tick. Talk. Hey, another round. Mohawk. Chris M reached out and has information on Edgar during his Navy career. He was no angel. Yep. You go I just can't tell you all my sources, but the people that know Edgar, particularly Edgar, not even as much KK, but Edgar, damn, people just don't seem to care for him. They just don't seem to care for him. That he is very, very self-indulgent, self-centered, self-seeking, all about him. Justin, do you know if they did that with Summer's case? In Summer's case, they did reach out to like Dawn's family. and I'm sure others, you know, but hopefully, uh, in Summer's case, hopefully there's going to be a new sheriff in town, in the next election. From what I have heard, that there's going to be a new, Ronnie Lawson will have a little bit of competition if he seeks re-election. And if I have to get a Hawkins County address and go help get this new sheriff elected, I will do everything in my power to volunteer for that man, because Hawkins County needs a new sheriff. Absolutely needs a new sheriff. With all the drama going on in this month prior to Sebastian disappearing, CP probably missed a lot of work, and that's the reason his job was up in the air and relocated. Perhaps, I don't know why his job was up in the air. Yes, Joan, yeah. I don't know why his job was up in the air, but I don't believe his job was up in the air because of his son going, his stepson going missing. I don't believe it had to do with him being an asshole that day either, because, I mean, if you didn't say anything and you waited till 10 or 11 o'clock, but he said he was working at 6 o'clock in the morning. He was already in the crane, listening in one ear and it going out in this ear. There has been so many stories about whether or what time he was at work. You just don't know, right? And you think about, he hasn't came out and said. He's never, the only thing he says is, I was at work when this happened. Well, saying that doesn't mean you were, Mother Chicken. I'll just say that. Actually, that I wanted to show you guys. Hold on. Let me see if I can find it. I want to show y'all this. This is coming from the lady that I spoke about yesterday on X. Forgive me if I can't remember her name. I'll tell you guys in just a moment. Make it a little bit bigger. Just read this. All right, let's just go through it one by one. Sebastian is reported missing from his home 2/26/2024. Let me go back to the screen here. Also on 2/26, TBI issued an endangered child alert. 2/27, TBI upgrades the endangered child alert to an Amber Alert. Amber Alert issued for Sebastian Rogers February 27, 2024. Authorities changed the alert to an Amber Alert, which indicates investigators believe an abduction or could be an immediate danger or death. Now, little circle back to something else Chris said in the narked phone call. All right, let me find this here. Ken Widener, which is the emergency management task, he's the one who is in charge of ground searches, the waterways, and the cave searches. Quote, he will give you the best aspect of the physical search because he was the one in charge of it, end quote. What was it that Ken Widener had said about why an Amber Alert was issued? Widener said, rain, cold weather, and strong winds gave concern to Rogers could suffer hypothermia. Quote, based upon cumulative nature of information gathered from tips from investigative findings and especially due to concerns of the potential welfare of Sebastian due to his health concerns, lack of medication, and weather threats, the alert level was elevated to an Amber Alert, end quote, TBI said in a statement. Widener gives a laundry list of reasons as to why the Amber Alert was issued. Weather. No Amber Alerts are issued due to weather conditions. Risk of hypothermia, aka weather worded differently. No Amber Alerts are not issued due to weather conditions. Health concerns. Getting warmer, but no Amber Alerts cannot be issued due to autism or lack of medication alone. Okay. If you're 18 and have autism, a silver alert can be issued. If you're 17 and under, it cannot. If a law enforcement agency tries to issue an Amber Alert or silver alert for a disabled child who does not meet age requirements or is not abducted, the request will be blocked. Everything except the one condition that must be present for an Amber Alert to be issued according to every resource available. Why aren't Amber Alerts issued more frequently? Many cases of missing children do not meet the requirements of Amber Alerts. What is an Amber Alert? An Amber Alert is an emergency broadcast made when a child is abducted. It is sent to an electronic highway signs, mobile phones, internet advertisements, regular programming, and radio television. The alerts broadcast in and surrounding jurisdictions where the abduction occurred, but multi-state Amber Alerts are also issued if law enforcement believes the abductor may travel across state lines with the child. Amber Alerts are allowed law enforcement to immediately enlist the help of the media and public to find the abducted child, rather. The purpose of an Amber Alert is to help quickly mobilize the community to help find the safety to recover the child. Now look at this. March 15, 2024, the TBI released a statement saying that there is no evidence of criminal activity and that the family has been cooperating fully. The agency also warned people against sharing surveillance video online, noting that it could be misinterpreted. Now listen to this. Typical information. Typically includes details of the child's description, the suspect's vehicle, and any other relevant information. There is not a suspect's vehicle in this. Remember, we don't have a description of a vehicle. But remember, there is a vehicle at 3 a.m. And remember, law enforcement asked Edgar and KK if they were missing any flashlights. Edgar and KK said that they noticed they were missing a flashlight. No contraire. It was the opposite. Law enforcement came to them and said, "Are you missing any flashlights?" Because they knew pretty quickly about that video. Now continue. Including Department of Justice guidelines. The Department of Justice guidelines criteria for issuing Amber Alerts is as follows. There is reasonable belief by law enforcement that an abduction has occurred. The law enforcement agency believes the child is in immediate danger of seriously bodily harm or death. There is enough descriptive information about the victim and abduction for law enforcement to issue an Amber Alert to assist in the recovery of the child. The abduction is the child is 17 years or younger. The child's, I forget. Okay. Law enforcement that abductions has occurred. Amber plans require law enforcement to confirm an abduction prior to issuing an alert. This is essential to determining the level of risk to the child. Clearly, stranger abductions are the most dangerous for children and thus are primary to the mission of the Amber Alert. And Tennessee's own state guidelines listed on their own website, tn.gov. This is the Tennessee website. Why are Amber Alerts not issued for all missing children? Amber Alerts are issued for abducted children, the most serious cases that meet the specific Amber Alert criteria. Even a broke clock is still right twice a day. All right, and then we got, oh, I don't know what this is. Why has it got SF on there? I didn't see this. I would remember that an Amber Alert in Tennessee can be issued if there is evidence of an abduction or kidnapping. TBI disclosed their working theory that when they designated this to an Amber Alert. All right. Now let's go to the flashlight because this is very important. Okay? Very, very important. After Nick Barris released a cropped version of the flashlight, a local questioned, turn this video music down here a little bit. A local questioned why it was cropped and why he had claimed his was the only version in existence. No. Why is someone wrote here? Why is Nick Barris lying? He is lying about the video clip that he played back in March, saying that is the only video out there and that he hasn't seen any others. When this woman clearly called him out on his lies, should anything that Nick says even be credible to this point? I'm not saying this. This person is saying this. Why lie about something so little? Now, I was the one that told you guys how Nick got it. Nick got this from the person's home that she sent it to her friend who was not supposed to send it out, and she sent it out. Okay? She knew there were others. I think she meant he. And that his had been altered. Now, altered meaning cropped. I think that would have been a better use, because she sent original unedited versions to herself. You mentioned you didn't notice the headlight in the video. At about 8 seconds in the pop-up in the video, on the right side of the video, as a reminder, the house this camera is coming from is 100 Stafford Court, but it's on the corner. I would assume the headlights are on Kellyanne Lane. I hope this helps. I'll be in touch if I get anything else. Thank you. That is the woman sending it to Nick, from what I understand. Let's look at some of the comments on this matter. From when I remember, he didn't actually get it from law enforcement. Law enforcement actually called Nick after he released it, demanding how he got it. Remember that Nick Barris said, even on one of his interviews, law enforcement said, how did you get that? Because, like I told you guys, it was never supposed to get out, because it kind of dealt their hand a little bit, in my opinion. So that's the best thing they could do, is say it's a trash truck. Justin, I just emailed. Thank you, my dear. Appreciate you, Lisa. Thank you very much. All right. Now let's continue. They never wanted this out, people. Not only were police upset that he had released this, law enforcement has the videos. I have a connection with the person who owns the security camera that took these videos and handed them over to law enforcement. If I didn't know for 100% fact that these were legitimate and that law enforcement pulled them on the first day, I would have never shared it with Nick. It also not hard for a reporter to go knock on the person's door if they see she will. And I can't see the rest. But they had this original uncropped video straight from the source. From the very first day, 2/26/24. So within the first day or so, police knew that dogs had tracked across the backyard behind Sebastian's home. Oh, hold on. Let me turn off my music here so we can play this part. What is it? Didn't know that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is actually information that was told to me by law enforcement. Okay, so that's Edgar talking about the dogs. How they tracked. Toward the roads exactly where the vehicle is seen in the footage. They knew on 226 that the dogs then tracked up Kellen rather, and the pond. Know how shallow it is before and after. I'm 5. I think he's talking about how he knew how shallow the pond was. The one Chris admits to standing in the pond that they knew the dogs actually dove into because it's on the dispatch call. Hold on, let me go play that back. What did Chris say right there? Let me turn my music off. This is interesting. Know how shallow it was before or after. And it was knee deep. That they knew the dogs actually dove into it because on the dispatch call. Okay.
Max led me straight from her painted car. Over behind Yellow Boulevard, he dove right into the water.
I need to go back 1 second. Why did it break? They saw the flashlights heading to the vehicle outside Sebastian's house on the night he disappeared. And why did it quit working? Hold on.
Boulevard, he dove right into the water.
They saw the flashlights heading to the vehicle outside the night it disappeared. You can clearly see the flashlights moving.
Yes, you see right over here on the right-hand part of the screen.
And that is why an Amber Alert was issued the next day, in their opinion. And I would agree. Amber Alert issued for Sebastian Rogers February 27, 2024. Authorities changed the alert to an Amber Alert, which indicated investigators believe an abduction could be involved and that the child is in immediate danger. In my opinion, that is exactly why there was an Amber Alert. Is because of those cars. That car. They also saw one flashlight going back to the home before the vehicle drove away. And yet, on 2/29, Craddock and Wagner held a press conference.
Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off and we really need your help.
in which Craddock says over and over again that they assume Sebastian walked off. And asked the public to search their property, checking areas where a wandering child might hide. What is y'all's thoughts on this? What is your thoughts on this? I still think it could be the Max, who is a rug sniffing dog, followed a rug trail. In my opinion, could be been oregano from anyone. I mean, I believe that's why they did an Amber Alert, is because of that car, in my opinion. But the thing is, they never. Amber Alert brings it brings up way more funding and resources. Absolutely, Vet Girl. It does bring up way more funding. This is, I need to give credit where credit is due. Lauren from Facebook. She does a bunch of these. Really, really good stuff.
CPS has gone to Katie's house before. You didn't know about that until this investigation. How does that make you feel?
That somebody somewhere dropped the ball because I was never informed. And I'm the biological father. I have joint legal, joint physical custody. Somebody dropped the ball and did.
Now, if Seth was this horrible, evil person, and if he was found guilty of anything in that they were claiming, that they're using creators against him, which the courts found that it was unfounded, all of it, he would not have got joint legal, joint custody at all. Period. And why would KK and Edgar give him to someone like that otherwise? Why? It's either that they didn't care, get him out of his hair, get him out of their hair, or none of it happened. Very possible that the lights in the car played into why they issued the Amber Alert, but they didn't put a B on the look. That's what I'm saying. Yes. I believe the open CPS case. There was never watch out for this specific vehicle. In my opinion, they have from the start, this is a removal of some kind with that car being involved.
Didn't reach out and inform the father, which is me. And I don't understand why the state dropped the ball on that one.
And how did you find out about CPS?
Podcast.
And how does that concern you, especially?
Joint custody, but never informed him about the CPS cases. Think about that. Think about that. Joint legal, joint custody, and never informs about 5 CPS cases that is going on in the other home. You would be furious. Even if nothing is found, you would be furious.
with this case that they might have done something to cause him to run away?
I don't know what that really means, but I just know that I don't have all the information.
I mean, how does that concern you, especially with this case that they might have done something to cause him to run away?
I don't know what that really means, but I just know that I don't have all the information.
Is there an official timeline? And I know people, there was, but CPS has gone to Katie's house before. You didn't know about that until this investigation. How does that make you feel?
That somebody somewhere dropped the ball because I was never informed. And I'm the biological father. I have joint physical custody.
Why do you think that girl,
Somebody
Mom?
dropped the ball and didn't reach.
Why do you think that girl, Mom?
He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" And got it. Whack. Got him. So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. He got in trouble. He didn't have a belt on. I was like, "Where's your belt?" And got it. Whack. Got him. So he goes to school and he tells the teacher.
So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. So he goes to school and he tells the teacher. 15-year-old boy. I'm telling y'all that one open CPS case was going to open a lot of things, in my opinion. I think I like this Lauren from Facebook. I don't know who she is, but she's got a very good ear. Yes, I talked with her. She said she was going to go do searches, but had no say in where or how she did it, and she never reported back to us. We basically told her we aren't going to tell her what to do, and she wasn't interfering with our case. What is all of this? Special Agent TBI. Yes, I talked with her. She said she was going to go do searches, but we had no say so in where or how she did it, and she never report. What are they talking about? Never reported back to us. We basically told her we weren't going to tell her where to do, what to do, and she wasn't interfering with our case. What is all this one? Special Agent blah 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 redacted TBI. Yes, well, cleared only meant we didn't tell her she couldn't work with the family. That is their business. We have not worked with her at all as law enforcement, other than a few conversations over the phone and text. I don't know what that is. So there's that. Seth's house off the market. I know people were saying that was for sale too. No, it's on X, Lisa. She's on X. What did Holly say? In my opinion, it was a pull-up, not a belt. Hong posted too.
He's Swiss cheese. Good Lord, Swiss cheese. The child likes Swiss cheese.
Ugh.
Every single time we go to the store, Mom, can I get some Swiss? Yeah, but you're responsible for eating it, right? And like not just any Swiss, like baby Swiss and lacy Swiss, like the worst, stinkier Swiss. And then he likes to come over near me and be like, and wave it near my face. I'm like, ugh. He's Swiss cheese. Good Lord, Swiss cheese.
Won't talk to you or
I has issues with personal space. He hasn't mastered
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
he can be a
How do you think that would go over with Edgar? Being in Edgar's face. I don't think that would go over
aggressive
good.
if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a teenager. He's
He
got.
doesn't like punch and hit and throw, but he
No.
gets really like aggressive stance or like clicked where he just won't talk to you or you know, if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah, he.
Listen to that. Listen to Edgar right there. Listen to KK say he growls, and listen to Edgar growl and roll his eyes.
He kind of.
I don't think he's the one growling. It's just terrible.
Let me bring you up to speed on that deal. Sebastian has pull-ups that he wears because Sebastian likes to pee in his pants and defecate in his pants.
This is where KK and Edgar really, really piss me off. And the first part pisses me off, but let me tell you something. The last part is what really pisses me off about this.
It has become a problem at school to the point where they've actually had to say something to us. So we even told them, said, look, either you figure out how to go to the bathroom or you're going in pull-ups. And for the longest time, I mean, there had sprouts where he would do what he was supposed to do, and then, excuse me, he wouldn't.
Okay, can I explain HIPAA to you, by the way? I need to.
Let me bring you up to speed on that deal.
Let me show you.
Sebastian, go to the bathroom or you're going in pull-ups. And for the long, so we even told him, said, look, either you figure out how to go to the bathroom or you're going in pull-ups.
Either you figure out how to go to the bathroom or you're going in pull-ups. You figure it out. You figure it out, 15-year-old boy that's having this problem. You figure it out. Yep, Trisha, yep. That's it. That's the part that pisses me off right there. Either you figure it out or you're going in pull-ups. How dare you? How dare you? Right, Sandy? Just like he wanted the 3-year-old to man up, right? I mean, he likes to pee and defecate in his pants, right? That's what he says. That's horrible. But either you figure it out or this is happening. I agree, Betty. How about taking him to see a pediatrician? How about say, hey, yeah, let's take him to a pediatrician and see, what we can do. But it's not like anyone. Do you think he found that amusing for that to humiliate him in school? People support a parent that allows someone to put a teenager in pull-ups, high schooler. How about figure out why he is having the issue? Yes. Hey, Shay, good to see you, honey. You're doing great work, by the way. I appreciate you. Guys, drop Shay's safe place. Drop her channel. Please and thank you. Thank you, Lisa, for 1 month and sending that email. My dear, really do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Notice how Edgar's voice and breathing changes when he discusses the CPS issue. Oh, totally. Yes, sister Krista. Yes, love your name, by the way. Love that. And thank you so much for your support. Really do appreciate. Seth never used diapers at his house. Yeah. Just I mean, I don't see how anyone else sees it any differently. I really don't. In this case, I don't see how anyone sees it differently. I really don't. And I just feel like if I'm the last person standing, like, to say it, I will. I mean, because it's just wrong. It's just wrong. Everything that has been around Edgar has left damaged in some way or another. Right? There are people that, you know, when you're around them, you're better for it. Right? And you learn and you grow. And then there are people that wreak havoc in everything they do. And I believe Edgar is one of them. If Sebastian walked out on his own, which I absolutely do not believe he did at all, but if he did, I believe it was due to one person. I believe the reason Sebastian is missing today is because of one person. You figure it out.
We really don't know any other allergies.
He's like at the schoolwork, chores.
Yeah, homework and chores. There's a serious aversion there, but
He's a teenager. We have to give him that.
wearing deodorant.
That again is a typical teenage boy.
Well, that's something that we've been really, really working on because other people had been like, "Is he wearing deodorant, Mom?" And I was like, "I mean."
Other people's like, is he wearing deodorant? Did you just tell him to figure that out too? Is that what you told him? Figure it out? See, as a parent, we're supposed to figure these things out with them together. That's what we're supposed to do. You don't just whip a child into submission, Edgar, KK. You find out what is causing this problem, and let's figure it out, and let's work through it, and let's move on. You're literally saying right there that other people are saying that he smells.
Well, that's something that we've been really, really working on because other people had been like, "Is he wearing deodorant, Mom?" And I was like, "I mean, I'm trying."
I have a nephew like that who has overactive.
We really don't know any other allergies.
Or, you know, if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah, this is she probably took a very probably the same class that I took. It's very important, and I do these on a lot of the interviews, to just watch one of them. What the other person, if one person is speaking, to watch the other person's reaction. Watch this.
Yeah,
Listen to the words and listen to his reaction.
You know, if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah,
Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man.
You know when someone is genuinely laughing, genuinely smiling, And you know when someone is faking it and forcing it. Other people said, is he wearing deodorant, Mom? Well, guess if it was someone in Edgar's family making in that statement, he has no friends. Look at there. What do you do when you look up? When you look up or you look, when we recall things, we have to look up. That's what we do. Sometimes we look sideways. He's recalling something there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Or, you know, if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah. Yeah. He kind of has issues with personal space. He hasn't mastered
He can be
up in your face kind of kid.
he can be aggressive if he's upset.
Yeah. He's emotional. He's a teenager.
He doesn't like punch and hit and throw, but he gets really like aggressive stance or like clipped where he just won't talk to you, or you know, if he's really upset, he like growls.
Yeah.
We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we
But there's
someone told me who knows Edgar that he and this person, I don't know who she is. She's a genius in my opinion. Lauren, she really gets it. She Edgar will take he'll parrot what perhaps certain like an attorney he may know, or he will parrot off what law enforcement will say, and he will repeat it basically.
There's answers.
just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we
But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions
Learn to accept things. Like, there's answers that we all want, and we just don't get.
we just want to make sure that every stone is unturned, that there's no stone left unturned, that we
but there's answers to questions that have no answers.
Amber Alert issued for Sebastian Rogers. Authorities changed the alert to an Amber Alert, which indicates investigators believe an abduction could be involved and the child is in immediate danger. Search efforts continue, with police using the teen's favorite song, "Eye of the Tiger," to try to lure him out. Those are absolutely opposite. Right? Those are absolutely opposite. If there is an Amber Alert, right, of bodily harm or death, someone has taken him, or you're trying to also lure him out with Eye of the Tiger. There's that. She links my spreadsheet inside her spreadsheet. The spreadsheet you are referring to, all this screenshot is yours. I don't know about that. This is about the Amber Alert. Okay, so we just read that of the Eye of the Tiger one. An Amber Alert was issued because authorities had evidence of an abduction. They played Eye of the Tiger to loop Sebastian out. Make it make sense. It doesn't. It doesn't make sense. Those are two different things. He was either abducted, right? Or or he's in the woods, right?
Like I said, we're operating under the assumption that Sebastian walked off and we really need your help.
Something where perhaps a teenager could have hidden. If you have a large amount of property in the area or something that has any kind of holes or unstable footing or ledges where, again, where a teen could have gone to hide or to play. Holes or unstable footing or ledges where, again, where a teen could have gone to hide or to play.
This is a child who was put into a vehicle in the middle of the night, triggering an Amber Alert. They had surveillance footage showing flashlight leading to a car. And yes, there is that. In my opinion, Eye of the Tiger, Edgar's favorite song, same from the 80s. Adidas pants, Edgar's generation, not Sebastian's generation, in my opinion. Just like the cranes. Remember the cranes where they put at, oh my God, Olivia's interview? Do you think Sebastian actually give a damn about cranes? And a scent trail that matched up with this activity perfectly. It did. Now, again, there's no scent of Sebastian. There is no scent of Sebastian. But the scent that cuts across the yard and goes straight up the street to the pond, we know that that car first went straight up the street, turned around, pulled over, and cut through the yard. Whose scent was that? It wasn't Sebastian's. I agree, Mohawk. Yeah. Avatar. They had it from day one. Yet over a month later, Susan Nylands wants people to look for him in places he might have gone to hide or play. And apparently doesn't believe child abduction is correct.
At this point, we don't have any evidence. There is not any kind of an indication that there is a criminal element involved.
Yet, I mean, explain this. There is an Amber Alert. An Amber Alert is either it's someone taking a child against their will, right? Whether it's a family member, parent, aunt, uncle, cousin, or a complete stranger. Stated that there was surveillance in one of their doors being open part of that night. I don't remember that. Justin, I was watching an old interview where a neighbor actually stated that there was surveillance in one of their doors being open part of that night. I don't remember that. Where did you see that, Tennessee nurse? I would like to hear that. Yeah, since when is a kidnapping not a crime? And wants to remind us once again to stop believing things we've only seen with our own eyes.
Just use some caution as to what you see and what you believe.
The agency also warned people against sharing surveillance video online, noting it could be misrepresented. Hello? This is, I mean, I mean, is it, I mean, I get speechless sometimes. A car shows up at 3 o'clock in the morning and gets out, goes to the house. Another person comes out. They do something around that car. The person gets in, backs out, and leaves, and the other person runs to the house. Okay. And for the record, TBI, YouTuber did not put that out. Is Sweetie Pilo in here?
We
You all
do
have
want to
that?
continue to get the tips, but please make it, don't provide information that you might have seen through social media channels. If you have information about Sebastian, about conversations you might have had with him, things he likes to do, places he liked to go, any people he may have mentioned that are in his life, that could be helpful in finding out maybe what he was interested in.
It isn't helpful to know about his interest or where he likes to go if he was abducted against his will. Exactly. If he's abducted against his will, it doesn't really matter about what's his favorite song. You know, and for me, that's a very frustrating part. People's, you'll hear other people say, well, just, talk about Sebastian. Talk about what he likes and what he doesn't like. I mean, that's important, yes, but it's not anything at the end of the day that is really going to find what happened on the night of February 25th going into the 26th. At all. Like at all.
Let me put it to you like this. If my kid was missing, this is the team I'd want on.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
We just want to make sure that
there did not seem to be one bit of truth in his press release, however.
We just want to make sure that every stone is unturned.
We'll give you that one, Susan. It seems that exactly what you intended to do this entire time. I don't know. That woman from TBI, to be honest with you, I don't know. Look at this. Does it look like KK's looking out of the corner of her eye? Here. Does it look like she's looking out of the corner of her eye when she was first asked the question, like, how are you doing? Oh, got you, Cappy. She says, it also seemed right there she turned to Chris to hide her face from the camera and interview, but she's side-eyeing the interviewer to see if they caught her. The question that's just being asked in this clip. How are you coping with the disappearance of your son 8 days ago? The question being asked of her in this clip. Is walk us through Sunday night. How did this happen? Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Mm. Not a tear. Justin, I missed most of the show. Do you think? Yeah, I'm going to be later, but it's probably going to be on Pearl's channel tonight. Oh, look. Does anyone know who that is? Bruce Castor. So there was that. What that is.
Playing the neighbor Bobby's interview. And in that, she makes a statement that one of the cameras caught Sebastian looking through the window. Now, she didn't say Sebastian, but she pointed out it would have been his bedroom. Do you know if there's any truth to that? Do you know if, Sebastian was caught on somebody's camera that night in that type of format? Or identified to be Sebastian?
I'm not going to talk on that.
Of course you're not. Of course you're not going to talk on that. And she never said Sebastian at all. At all. She said you could see the shadow in Sebastian's room, and then the light goes out. I've read that 1,000 times. But Edgar doesn't want to talk about that. Edgar doesn't want to talk about anything that happened that night. And it appears that there was 3 people in the house based upon those shadows, because you have 1 in Sebastian's bedroom, right? And then you could supposedly see someone coming through the house, right? Like going toward the house. I guess it would be the living room and the dining room right there where the window is. And then you see like the lights go out, and then supposedly like right there in the dining room area, the window there. You can supposedly see like a shadow or something there for a minute or so.
That's part of an ongoing investigation. That if it is or if it isn't true, I mean, and how would Bobby know?
Right.
Because your neighbor.
That's a better question that maybe some people should ask. How
That's why, because the neighbor actively wrote.
does somebody who thinks that they know as much as they know? I just don't feel that she knows as much as she thinks she knows.
Is it just because she doesn't believe you, Edgar? One second.
But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions.
CP is literally telling us that they have the answers in the last clip. He's saying it is hard to get up and keep going every day, but not because their child is missing, only because they have never known what answers may be revealed. What would do anything? Sorry, answers may be revealed that they would do anything to keep hidden, in their opinion. And you know something, you never hear of Sebastian saying he growls at teachers, he growls at students or anything. Deodorant, food, all of that stuff has to be bought as well. Who's he growling at?
Would like for people to be looking for Sebastian so they can be looking there. Is there any areas that you and Katie want to have people that are out there searching, where you want them to be hanging flyers? What can you tell us about that?
Everywhere. I mean, everywhere. I mean, for me to give you a designated area would suspect that we think he's in an area. Well, we don't know. So anywhere.
Well, law enforcement didn't even give any everywhere. Ridiculous.
District Attorney Ray Whitley in that county, in Sumner County, says that there needs to be something more, physical evidence. Sebastian's clothing, a flashlight, security video.
These are black pants. They look like
Got in touch with the dog heifer. Guess what? That ain't happening either. And that ain't even on my decision.
yeah.
Well, one of the reasons it took us a little bit longer to do some of these interviews, okay, and this is before we started doing interviews and talking with the media, we were kind of advised to hold off, don't do that.
I like this lady's work. I'm gonna give you the link to her ex right there. And you know, I was just thinking, mother chicken. I was just thinking, you know how Edgar said he likes to growl? He likes to growl. He gets in your personal space. Let's take a look at something. Does he like to bite? Growl, bite. I got you, darling. Thank you so much, Tori. Really do appreciate you. Thank you so much, Sister Krista. Likes to growl, likes to bite. Tina, yep. But you see, Sebastian is not the only one I've at least heard likes to get up in people's faces. I don't think it's from a Morkie. I'll tell you that. I don't know exactly what it is, but I damn sure don't think it's from a Morkie. How they wanted him to react when he got upset. Clip of Katie saying law enforcement asked about the flashlight. Ooh, where did you text it to me? Ooh, thank you. My little spirit seeker. Y'all drop spirit seekers link, please. Sub up to spirit seeker.
Now, Janice, I appreciate you being here. How did they know he took a flashlight? Well, I asked that very same question today, and I was so glad that Sebastian's mother explained it to me, because when I read that news article, I was like, well, how did they know he had a flashlight? Do you want to tell us about that?
One of the first things that was asked is because he left when it was very dark outside, was if he might have taken a flashlight. And he actually has one that he plays with regularly, and I can't find it.
You hear a
So
voice
it's
there?
likely that he took it.
You hear a voice there? I can't find it. I can't find it. That's her 743rd personality voiced. And I can't find it. I'm gonna clip that.
And he actually has one that he plays with regularly, and I can't find it. He actually has one that he plays with regularly, and I can't find it. He has one that he plays with regularly, and I can't find it.
Oh my Lord.
So it's likely that he took it.
Okay.
KK.
Check this out. I'm gonna.
KK. I can't find it. Justin, you should show KK's expression in the interview when she asked about the flashlight. Her eyes got big. Yeah. We used to think that it was they told law enforcement that they couldn't find a flashlight. Actually, what happened is law enforcement asked if they were missing any flashlights. Hello, Selena. Good to see you. That's what it was. Law enforcement asked them if they were missing any flashlights, which leads me to believe they were looking at those flashlight videos and the car very early on, in my opinion. You should clip Dog's laugh when he was playing with the tortilla game. I will. Yeah. That was funny. Those were funny. Very, very funny. I want to show y'all something. What's this? Oh no, I already showed that. I want to show y'all something here about let me find it. I'm going to play this while I'm looking for it. Just give me 2 seconds. Don't forget what we found yesterday. Actually, this Gally Gal found it, Lauren from Facebook. This is very important because Edgar says he sees Sebastian before he goes to his room.
But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions. But there's answers to questions that have no answers, or questions, questions. But there's answers to questions that have no answers.
Sorry, that's not the one. I apologize. Wrong one. Wrong one. Bear with me 1 second. I thought it was this one. Where in the hell is it? Oh, this one's it. Hold on. And please, somebody tell me what interview this came from. Edgar did an interview from somewhere. It was a smaller channel.
What he was last seen, like in the black outfit. Is that something that he wore to bed?
Yes. So he wore, like I said, it was the black pants with the white stripes down the side. It was a long sleeve black shirt. It was not a hoodie. It wasn't a sweatshirt. It was a long sleeve black shirt.
And y'all think that he went out the front door?
Right now, that is the best assumption available.
Y'all don't think maybe he might have put a sweater on or something? I mean,
that right there that would be an assumption, and we never saw him.
Yeah.
We saw what he went to bed in.
We never saw him. We saw what he went to bed in. We saw what he went to bed in. We saw what he went to bed in.
And that would be,
I mean,
that right there that would be an assumption, and we never saw him.
Yeah.
We saw what he went to bed in, and that was it.
Even like the description of, what he was last seen, like in the black outfit. Is that something that he wore to bed?
Yes. So he wore, like I said, it was the black pants with the white stripes down the side. It was a long sleeve black shirt. It was not a hoodie. It wasn't a sweatshirt. It was a long sleeve black shirt.
Shay, where is this from? Where is this from? No, it's not Smiley. It's just a call. I need it. I really need it. Justin, I text you 2 pics that explains this interview. Thank you, Spirit Seeker. Yes, I called him back in March when the flashlight video came out. Okay. Has it all been released? What's this? Hold on 1 second. Okay, 1 second. All right, this is Sweetie Pilo. One second. Do you know? Damn. Justin, read Emmy Joe's. Emmy Joe's. It's a recorded phone call. I traced it down and I'm getting a copy sent. Cool. Thank you. No, it is from that's who has the clipped video of this channel. She's the one who called him. From PJC. PJC. And Missing in Plain Sight. This is who clipped the video on their channel. She's the one that called him. I would really like that. Said Missing in Plain Sight, but in plain sight. Let's see here. Would it be under a video? Missing in Plain Sight's a good channel. Make sure y'all are subbed up to Missing in Plain Sight. Let's look at this. You know how long it is in the past? Oh, Tori, thank you so very much, my beautiful friend. Justin, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for having us a place to come and discuss true crime. Now, this isn't my opinion, but if I had to deal with Edgar and KK, I would do more than growl. Sorry, not sorry. I agree. I agree. Thank you so much, sweet Tori. Really do appreciate your support. Truly, my friend. Thank you very, very much, my love. And thank you, Jules. They also said in another interview that the flashlight did not work. Yeah. Seth said it did not work as well. It was just like one of those kind you get like they give you like free pins and free flashlight, those little things. I commented and asked her if she released the whole call yet, waiting for a reply. That's awesome. Thank you. Playlist and number 22 under Sebastian Rogers. Justin. I'm frozen, or is just I am frozen. Oh God, that's terrible. Huh. Hold on 1 second. I'll be right back. Papa, can you see me? Papa, can you hear me? Am I still frozen? I thought it was my Botox. But it wasn't. It really wasn't. We're good now. Okay. Playlist. Sebastian
Tonight, we need your help to find it.
Rogers. Mohawk said 22 because she's a little smarty pants.
Whenever she was given like the description of, you know, what he was last seen like in the black outfit, is that something that he wore to bed?
Yes. So he wore, like I said, it was the black pants with the white stripes down the side. It was a long sleeve black shirt. It was not a hoodie. It wasn't a sweatshirt. It was a long sleeve black shirt.
And y'all think that he went out the front door?
Right now, that is the best assumption available.
Y'all don't think maybe he might have put a sweater on or something? I mean,
That right there is, that would be an assumption, and we never saw him. We
Yeah.
saw what he went to bed in, and that was it.
well, that's why.
Let's see here. All
Father
right.
refuses to give up on his missing son. 15.
We need that recording. We need that recording. For sure, for sure.
Like she said, the time stamp on the video is not working. It is stuck. She said, but you can tell because it's pitch black dark in the middle of the night when the car comes down the street, turns onto Stafford, sits there for about 3 to 5 minutes. The flashlights are coming from 2 different directions in between the yards. They do whatever they're doing around the car. The car backs up Kellen and leaves from Stafford. I'm sorry, backs up Kellen and leaves.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris, and today's video is a big one. We're going to be breaking down the surveillance footage that was released early on in the Sebastian Rogers case. Now, I'm sure many of you have seen this, but I'm going to break it down in ways and show you things that you may have not noticed before. And I've also got some interviews that also break down what allegedly happened that night. And in my opinion, after seeing this footage and what I'm about to break down and debunk, I believe this may have a connection to Sebastian Rogers' disappearance. I do not think it's a coincidence that we have these strange lights and an unidentified vehicle, for those that have not heard that before, the same night that Sebastian Rogers disappeared. So stay tuned. Please stay until the end, and thank you so much for watching.
About midnight, I got up and I went to bed. And 6 o'clock, I went to wake him up for school Monday morning. And that's when he wasn't here.
Welcome back to the channel, everybody. So this is Sebastian Rogers' neighborhood. And there is where the Rogers, Proudfoot home located here. And this is the house that has the surveillance camera located here. The camera points this direction. In footage, we can see multiple vehicles parked in the driveway. Now the vehicles are parked different from how they were in the footage. So here's an example of how they were parked. Now in the footage there are multiple objects, so I'm going to break down each one. We can see this white outline of something on the bottom. This is actually the driver's side window and trim from the white truck being lit up by the floodlights. What I did here is take the original screenshot of the footage zoomed out and the overlay, the actual footage that was filmed, and show you how that lines up. Now notice things shake around a bit. I'm going to explain why I believe things are a bit shaky in this footage. So I believe that either the homeowner or the reporter came over, had them zoom in on the footage, and recorded it with a cell phone. And because of that, their hand was not steady, and this caused the footage to be a bit shaky, and it explains why the quality seems to be degraded a bit. For some reason, law enforcement and the family tell the public that these lights have no major value.
Bull crap. Bull crap. It definitely has major value. Thank you so much, K Bear. Can I show you? Can I show your brother's monkey? It's okay.
To the case, and have even claimed they are lights from a garbage truck. Let's listen to a short clip from an officer talking about the lights. Notice the strange answer he gives.
I asked about exclusive home security video obtained from the neighborhood the night Sebastian disappeared. You can see two suspicious light sources,
No, Mandy,
which
don't
we've
leave me.
circled here in an area behind the teen's home. Since we first aired the video last month, authorities have said no evidentiary value.
It is of no evidentiary value.
Can you tell me what those lights are?
No.
Why?
Because
Edgar will not speak to people that could nail his story and challenge his story.
the investigation remains ongoing.
And so it could play a role down the road depending on developments?
We don't know what we don't know. So yes, it could play a role.
Since we have a screenshot of the footage fully zoomed out, we can do some simple measurements using basic science to determine where the objects are located. Notice the hood of the truck in the top left. If we take a straight line from the hood, we can see that the two lights at the top, which have been assumed to be floodlights. And using this line, we can determine that those lights cannot be any higher than the hood of that truck. Using this method, we can determine exactly where those lights are coming from. So looking at where that truck was parked that night, seen in this overview, photo here taken the day of, we can then use a Google Street image and line up approximately where that truck was parked. Notice we add the red line and look at where it takes us. There is a house exactly across the street. This house is next to the Rogers residence. This home has its garage facing towards the camera. It also has 3 garage doors on it. Guess what? That's right, it has floodlights above each garage door. So here, I am taking a street Google view of the direction of the camera and then adding the security footage overlaid into the Google image. And notice how the floodlights do line up with the image. But because the footage itself was filmed with a phone, it is a bit shaky and doesn't always line up. But this does give you an example of where everything is taking place. The lights labeled as subject 1 and 2 are moving across the 2 yards.
Mob Crew just did?
So the big question is, are they flashlights or something else? And where are Clearly they coming from debunked the hell out exactly, of and that. where are they going to? What I'm about to show you next will shock you to your core, because the angle of the camera is not quite level with the street. I realized that in order to match up the footage and image correctly, it needed to be tilted a bit to match the angle of the camera footage.
Bingo.
And by doing this, literally put all the pieces to the puzzle together. And what you're about to see, in my opinion, is exactly what happened that night. And pay close attention to where those lights are coming from. I also fixed the footage the best I can to keep the floodlights lined up with the garage. Notice we can see subject 1 just behind the house to the right. Then we see subject 2 literally come out from behind the house to the left. This subject literally...
Look at this. I want you guys to see this right here. You watch this. You see this? You see this? This flashlight is
came from the yard shared by the...
exactly like that dog traveled from over straight across to here. Exactly how that dog that wasn't Sebastian scent, boom, right there. The familiar scent. It's clear. And
Proudfoot's home. As subject 2 heads towards subject 1, we noticed that the light disappears right behind the gazebo between the 2 homes. As we continue to watch, notice that it seems like subject 1 is waiting for subject 2 to get closer, as if guiding this person to a car waiting nearby. Noticed as we wait for subject 2 to reappear, we see that subject 1 now moves behind the home to the right, and we cannot see them anymore. Then we see subject 2 reappear to the right of the gazebo. Notice as subject 2 moves to the right, there are trees, and the light shimmers as it moves, closer to the home on the right. I believe this is not a coincidence that Rogers goes, missing the same night that around 3 a.m. Lights are coming from the direction of Rogers' home and the neighbor mentioning an unidentified vehicle parked on the street nearby. Here is me zooming in on where subject 2 is, coming out from, and noticed it clearly pops out just behind the home to the left, the same yard that's shared by the Proudfoot's home. In my opinion, I believe this footage shows the potential abduction of Rogers. Here is a quick clip by the neighbor explaining that there is an unidentified car parked nearby when these lights are moving around.
The flashlights are coming from two different directions in between the yards. They do whatever they're doing around the car. The car backs up Kellen and leaves from Stafford. I'm sorry, backs up Kellen and leaves. And then 2 or so hours later, as the sun is just beginning to come up, you can see the trash truck. And she said, but the trash truck goes past her driveway. She said, you can see the trash truck and the lights and the back of the truck go past her driveway, go up the hill, do its business, turn around, come back down. And then within a few minutes later, the sun is coming up. And then you can.
If you would like to hear the whole interview by the neighbor, the link is down in the description below. Let me know what you think down in the comments.
Of course, great job, Mob Crew. He does a terrific job, as always. As always, for sure. Guys, I want to thank you all tremendously. We need to have a chicken party. Who's ready for the chicken party? Now. Sucker now. Ooh, he likes the sucker now. In that little peach with that little curly curls. Oh, little salt and pepper shaker. You shake it like a salt and pepper shaker, don't you? Edgar Steen.
You asked me off the top of my head, I think it's Sebastian gotten in trouble. He got caught lying, and I had asked him. I said, "Hey, you got to have a punishment for this." And drive a diesel truck, Chevrolet.
Year.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 2021.
7.5 3/4.
So you're.
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think it's 2021. I think.
Clearly debunked the hell out of that. Not possible because that area is not visible in the footage. My ass.
My ass. Your ass? Ooh. Sucky now. Sucky.
Oh, sucker now. Oh, sucker now. Oh, sucker now.
It's there! You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
And it
To
was
Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot. To Mr. Proudfoot.
Don't look at me, Nene Nancy. I told you, name the time, name the place, and I will fulfill that lie detector test, even though I'm lying right now.
You're coming with me.
What?
It's a long trip. I'll need a snack.
Katie! Christopher!
Something that I believe we're pervy to. Something that I believe we're pervy to. Something that I believe we're pervy to.
Okay.
okay. I mean,
Yeah.
even a fly, and he's like,
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
even a fly, and he's like, snacks, because, you know, he's 15 and snacks.
First interview.
Snacks, because, you know, he's 15 and snacks. Snacks, because, you know, he's 15 and snacks.
Kumbaya. Oh. Suck it now. Oh. Suck it now. It's
I might have been a bitch to you this year. I just wanted to say that I'm still gonna be a bitch to you next year. It's New Year's, not new me. Clean slate, what?
What you fucking da? I don't fucking know. Yalanna yastara. Anarana. Okay.
What did the irritated chicken say?
This is to Edgar and
is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
thank you all. Thank you all so very much. Really do appreciate you. That was Laura Lodge today. Yes. Let's give it up for Laura Lodge today. Great job. Great job. She held it down. Thanks a lot, Edgar Steen. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Edgar Steen. Terrible. Really do appreciate you all. Truly, that's all I have for you today. I will probably be live in a little bit with my little monkey Steen, Pearl. So make sure you join us over there to monkey around a little bit. Okay. Clink, clink, mother chicken. Clink, clink. Let's do it. All right, guys. Love you all. Appreciate you. I will see you guys on the next one. Bye bye.